Hello there. I'm so glad you found your way here. Tonight, let your shoulders soften. Let your breath grow long and quiet. And let the warmth of your blanket wrap around you like a slow tide returning home. There is nowhere you need to be. Nothing you need to solve. The day has finished its work, and now the night opens its long, velvet hands to receive you. Outside your window, the world is gently turning, the way it always does, with patience and without sound. Let your pillow hold the small weight of your thoughts. Let your bed become a quiet boat drifting on a still, dark sea. Somewhere far away, snow is falling in slow, weightless feathers, settling onto a continent so vast and so silent that even time seems to whisper there. That is where we are going tonight. Not in a hurry, not all at once, only as gently as breath moves through a sleeping room. Tonight, we will drift together toward Antarctica, a land of pale blue ice, of long shimmering twilights, of mountains dusted in moonlight, and of skies so wide they seem to hold every dream ever softly let go. We will travel slowly, in whispers, in soft warm wonder, gathering one quiet fact at a time, like collecting smooth stones on the shore of sleep. If this gentle journey brings you comfort, you are warmly invited to leave a quiet light and to subscribe to Deep Sleep Science so we may keep drifting together on many more peaceful nights to come. There is no rush. Only your breath and the soft hush of the world settling around you. So close your eyes if they are not already closed. Let the day fall away like petals from a sleepy flower. And let's begin this slow and soothing journey into the hush of the great white south. Imagine, very softly now, that the room around you begins to dissolve into a tender, silver mist. The walls grow quiet. The ceiling melts into a wide, dreaming sky. Beneath you, the warmth of your bed remains, but around you, a long horizon of pale snow begins to unfold, calm and endless and kind. A gentle wind moves like a lullaby across the ice, brushing nothing, disturbing nothing, only carrying with it the soft, sleepy hush of a continent that has been dreaming for millions of years. And as your breath slows, as your heart eases into its quiet evening rhythm, we begin to wander together, weightless and warm, into the soft white wonder of Antarctica. Antarctica is the southernmost place on our gentle blue planet, a soft white crown resting at the very bottom of the world. Imagine, if you can, a vast circle of ice cradled by quiet oceans on every side, glowing faintly under the long arc of the southern sky. It is a place where the land itself seems to be dreaming, wrapped in a blanket of snow so old it remembers things no human ever saw. The continent rests there, calm and unhurried, breathing slowly with the seasons, as if it were a great sleeping creature curled beneath the stars. Light moves across its surface in slow, painterly waves, pale gold in summer, soft lavender in winter, silver in between. And though it is far from where you lie now, in this moment, your breath and its breath seem to share the same slow, peaceful rhythm of rest. The name Antarctica comes from a soft, ancient word that simply means the opposite of the bear, a quiet reference to the northern stars. Imagine the early dreamers who looked up into the night sky and saw a great bear shape made of light, and then imagined, somewhere on the far other side of the world, a mirrored stillness, a land of hush and ice. They never saw it with their own eyes, only with their slow, wondering hearts, and yet they named it gently, like naming a child who has not yet arrived. For centuries, the name floated quietly across maps and dreams, a soft promise of a place that might exist. And then, one slow evening in human history, sailors finally caught sight of it, glowing on the horizon, exactly where the dreamers had imagined it would be. Antarctica is the coldest place on Earth, yet there is something gentle in the way it holds that cold. It does not rush, does not roar, does not strike. It simply rests, deep and still, like a quiet held breath. The air there is so clear it seems polished, as though every particle had been gently wiped clean. Snow falls in slow, weightless feathers, and ice glows in soft blues no painter could quite mix. Even the silence has a texture, soft and wide, the kind of silence that makes you feel the world is listening to itself. As you drift here in your warm bed, far from that endless cold, let the thought of all that calm whiteness settle gently around you, the way fresh snow settles on a sleeping field at the edge of a quiet wood. Almost the entire continent is covered in a great blanket of ice, a slow, shining quilt that has been stitched together by countless soft snowfalls over countless quiet years. This ice sheet rests upon the land like a sleeping companion, breathing in long, patient rhythms. In some places, it is so deep that whole mountain ranges sleep beneath it, hidden in dreams of older days. The surface above is smooth and pale, sculpted only by the gentle hand of the wind. Imagine standing on that endless white, feeling the world spread out around you in every direction, calm and unbroken. Imagine the soft hush of your footsteps, slow and weightless. There is nothing harsh about it, only vastness, only quiet, only the long, peaceful presence of a land that has chosen rest as its way of being. The ice of Antarctica holds within it the largest reserve of fresh water on Earth, a slow, sleeping ocean lifted high above the sea. Every flake of snow that has ever fallen there waits patiently, layered upon layer, like pages in a great soft book. If you could read those pages, you would read the weather of a million quiet mornings, the breath of ancient forests, the dust of long-forgotten skies. And yet the ice keeps it all so gently, without weight, without sorrow. It simply remembers, the way a still pond remembers the stars that touched its surface. As you breathe softly tonight, imagine your own quiet day folded gently into your memory, like one more soft layer added to the long and peaceful record of your life. The Antarctic ice sheet is so heavy and so wide that it actually presses the land beneath it gently downward, the way a sleeping body softens into a feathered bed. Beneath the great white blanket, the rock itself rests in a slow, contented hush, cradling the weight above it without complaint. In some places, the land has slipped below the level of the sea, hidden beneath a quilt thicker than mountains. And yet, very slowly, over thousands and thousands of years, when the ice eases its embrace, the land rises again, breathing upward like a sleeper waking. It is a long, patient dance between earth and ice, performed in slow motion, almost too slow to imagine. Let your own body rest as the land rests, held kindly by the soft weight of your blanket, breathing in its own slow, peaceful rhythm. Antarctica is a desert, though it is hardly ever pictured that way. It is a desert of snow and silence, where very little new moisture falls. The air is so cold and so still that clouds themselves seem to drift by quietly, as if they too were trying not to disturb the great sleeping land. The snow you see there is mostly old snow carried gently across the surface by soft winds, settling and resettling in patient drifts. It is a place where the sky often opens wide and clear, a great blue or pale rose dome above the white. Imagine looking up into that endless openness, feeling the calm immensity of it gather you in. Tonight, let your mind feel that same wide openness, soft and untroubled, with plenty of room for your thoughts to drift and gently disappear like distant snow on the horizon. In the great quiet center of the continent, there is a place sometimes called the Pole of Inaccessibility, the farthest point from any sea. Imagine that gentle, faraway spot, untouched by ocean wind, wrapped in deep, sleeping whiteness on every side. There is a small old marker there, half buried in snow, and at the very top a soft little bust of a long-ago dreamer gazing forever into the calm distance. Around it, nothing but the slow shimmer of ice and the wide hush of sky. The snow drifts up around it kindly, like a soft scarf wound around a sleeping shoulder. There is no traffic there, no hurry, no voices, only the long, peaceful sigh of a continent at rest. Let your thoughts wander gently to that hidden, quiet place, and feel how restful it is to be far from everything for a little while. The South Pole itself rests upon ice, nearly 3 kilometers thick, a soft, shining tower of slow time. Imagine standing on the very point where every direction is north, where the world spins beneath you in the smallest of circles. There, the sun does not rise and set the way it does in your garden. Instead, it lifts itself slowly into the sky over many quiet weeks, lingers there in a long golden afternoon, and then sinks again with the same gentle patience. A whole year is shaped like one slow breath, one inhale of light, one exhale of soft darkness. As you settle deeper into your pillow, imagine your own breathing growing as slow and peaceful as the sun above the pole, taking its sweet, unhurried time to drift across the sky. Around the pole, the long polar day glows for nearly 6 months without ending. Picture that soft, endless afternoon, where the sun simply circles the horizon, never quite setting, never quite rising. The light is gentle, low, and warm, painting the snow in shades of honey, peach, and rose. Shadows stretch out long and slow, like the lazy yawns of a quiet animal. There is no rush to the hours, no sudden change. Time seems to settle into one long, dreamy moment, the way a summer evening at home can sometimes feel like it stretches forever. Imagine yourself there, walking gently across that golden snow, with no clock to hurry you, no place you need to reach. Just the soft, glowing world, the kind hush of the wind, and the easy beat of your own peaceful heart. And then, very slowly, the long polar night arrives, soft and dark and full of stars. Picture the sky deepening, hour by hour, into the richest indigo you have ever seen. The sun slips gently below the horizon, and for many months, the land rests beneath a sky of velvet darkness. Yet it is not empty darkness. It is a darkness alive with quiet light. The stars there are so clear, they almost seem to whisper. The Milky Way arches overhead like a slow, glittering river. The snow holds the starlight tenderly, glowing faintly under the great calm dome of night. It is the kind of dark that does not frighten, only soothes, like the warm hush of a bedroom after the last lamp is turned low. Let your own room feel like that now, soft and held by the night. Sometimes during the long polar night, the sky itself begins to dance. Soft, slow waves of green and violet light rise above the horizon, drifting in long curtains and gentle spirals. This is the southern aurora, the auroras australis, a quiet sister to the northern lights. She moves without sound, painting the dark sky with brushstrokes of pale fire that never burn. Imagine standing on the still snow, looking up as ribbons of light unfold above you, lifting and falling like the breathing of a sleeping dragon made of stars. The whole sky becomes a slow, silent music. Even the most restless thoughts grow calm beneath such a sky. Tonight, as you lie warm and held, let those gentle colors drift across the inside of your closed eyes, soft and rippling, washing through your mind like a tide of cool, weightless silk. The auroras are made when tiny particles from the sun drift on long invisible winds and meet the upper edges of our atmosphere. There, high above the sleeping ice, they touch the air gently and bloom into color, the way a quiet match might bloom into a small, warm flame. It is a slow, peaceful conversation between the sun and the sky, carried out far above any human noise. The colors depend on which kind of air they touch. Soft green where the breath of the world is thinner, deep red and violet higher still. To watch the lights is to watch the planet itself being quietly kissed by the distant star that warms us. Let your own breath, in and out, feel like that gentle meeting, slow and tender, between you and the great, kind world holding you tonight. Antarctica is home to mountains that have slept beneath the ice for longer than memory. They are called the Gamburtsev Mountains, though no human eye has ever seen them. They lie hidden far below the surface, a whole hidden range with peaks and valleys, perfectly preserved beneath the soft, pressing weight of the ice. Scientists know they are there only because of gentle signals carried back through the snow, like distant lullabies whispered through a wall. Imagine those quiet mountains, sleeping in the dark, their slopes never touched by wind, their summits never warmed by sun. They are perhaps the most peaceful mountains on Earth, dreaming undisturbed in their long white blanket. As you lie still in your bed, imagine your own breath drifting gently down towards such a place, settling into deep, hidden peace, far beneath the surface of every busy thought. Above the ice, other mountains rise into the light, the long curve of the Transantarctic Range, stretching across the continent like the spine of a sleeping animal. Their slopes are dusted with snow, their bare ridges glowing in pale rose at dawn and dusk. Glaciers slip slowly down between them, carrying soft rivers of ice from the high inland plateau toward the patient sea. Imagine these mountains in the long evening light, their shoulders bathed in honey gold, their valleys filled with violet shadow. Birds do not call here. Trees do not sigh. There is only the soft, deep hush of stone and snow, breathing the slow breath of geologic time. Let your own breath grow long and gentle, in time with these unhurried giants, and feel how good it is, every now and then, to be still. The Vinson Massif is the tallest mountain in Antarctica, a calm, broad-shouldered peak, rising quietly into the high, pale air. It is not jagged or angry. It is wide, settled, almost contemplative, like an elder who has been sitting in silence for a very long time. Snow drapes its sides in long, smooth folds, and the wind brushes across its summit in slow, patient sweeps. From its top, the eye travels across an endless white plain, dotted with other peaks, like distant islands of soft stone. The light there is so clear it feels weightless. Imagine standing gently at that height, breathing in the cool, clean air, feeling the great hush of the continent stretch all the way to the rounded edge of the world. As you breathe in, breathe out, you too sit calmly above your day, looking softly down on it from a place of rest. Volcanoes rest here, too, though most of them sleep quietly beneath the ice. The most famous of them is called Mount Erebus, a tall, gentle giant who breathes warm air softly into the cold sky above Ross Island. Inside her, deep within stone walls, there is a slow, glowing lake of lava, a small living heart of warmth in a land of soft white silence. From a distance, she looks like a calm white mountain, with only a thin curl of pale steam drifting upward to suggest the quiet fire within. Imagine her there, holding her warmth so gently, sharing only the softest sigh with the cold air. It is a beautiful balance, fire and snow, breath and stillness. Let your own warm body, wrapped in your blanket, feel like such a quiet mountain, holding gentle warmth within the soft, cool hush of your room. Beneath the great Antarctic ice, there are hidden lakes, soft and dark and undisturbed. The largest of them is called Lake Vostok, a wide, deep body of water resting under more than 3 kilometers of ice. It has been sealed away from the sky for a very long time, its surface kissed only by the steady weight above it. The water there is dark and calm and ancient, like a thought no one has ever spoken aloud. Around the world there are many such hidden lakes beneath the Antarctic ice, linked by slow, secret rivers that drift gently from one to another. Imagine that quiet, hidden world, that softly breathing network of dark, peaceful waters far below the snow. Let your own deeper self, the quiet part beneath your busy thoughts, feel like such a lake tonight, calm and still and held in long, patient hush. The wind in Antarctica often moves in soft, sleepy circles around the continent, a great spiraling embrace called the polar vortex. Imagine a wide, slow swirl of air, drifting endlessly around the south, hugging the cold land close to its heart. It is not a frantic wind, but a long, sweeping breath, weaving the seasons together. Higher up, in the calm blue of the stratosphere, this gentle vortex shapes the weather of the south, smoothing it, combing it, drawing it into long, patient patterns. It is as though the planet itself were rocking the southern world to sleep, in slow, generous arcs. As you lie quietly, let your own breath move in that same gentle circular feeling. In, around, out, around, soft and continuous, holding you like a kind hand resting on your back. Sometimes the winds along the coast of Antarctica slip down from the high inland plateau in slow, heavy rivers of cool air. These are called katabatic winds, soft, sleepy giants that descend from the heights and drift toward the sea. They are not sharp or sudden. They are long and steady, like a great slow exhale of the continent. They carry whispers of the inner ice, dusted with the smallest grains of snow. They smooth the surface, carve gentle ripples, and then settle again into hush. Imagine that long downward breath of the land, easing toward the patient ocean. Let your own body release such a breath now, soft and unhurried, letting the weight of the day slip gently down through your shoulders, your chest, your hips, your legs, until it pools quietly at your feet and dissolves into the floor. At the edges of the continent, the ice meets the sea in great pale cliffs and slow drifting platforms. These are called ice shelves, vast floating tongues of ice that stretch out from the land like patient, sleeping creatures resting their chins on the water. The largest of them, the Ross Ice Shelf, is nearly the size of a small country, a wide, smooth field of frozen calm. From above, it looks like a great pale plate set gently upon the dark sea. Waves move beneath it in slow, rocking rhythms, and snow falls softly upon its surface, layer upon layer. Imagine that soft, floating world, balanced so gently between sky and sea. Imagine yourself drifting upon it, weightless and warm, held above the deep by a kind, patient quilt of ice. Let your own bed feel that way now, floating and held. From these great shelves, every so often, a piece of ice quietly sets out to sea. We call them icebergs, but their birth is gentle, a slow, soft parting, as though the shelf were releasing a sleeping child onto a calm cradle of water. The new iceberg drifts away in its own time, sometimes vast as an island, sometimes small as a quiet boat. The wind whispers around its edges, the sea murmurs softly beneath. There is no hurry in its journey. It simply moves, glowing pale blue and white under the long polar light. Imagine that slow drifting, that gentle release. Imagine letting one of your own thoughts drift away in just that way tonight. Calmly and without struggle, becoming small in the distance, until at last it dissolves into the wide, peaceful sea of your sleep. Icebergs come in many quiet shapes. Some are tall and pointed like soft white cathedrals. Some are smooth and flat like pale tables. Some are arched with gentle tunnels of ice through which the sea murmurs lullabies. Their colors shift with the light, from glowing white at noon to deep, dreamy blue in shadow. Inside their hearts, the ice is so old and so tightly packed that it bends sunlight into the most tender shades of turquoise and violet. To see them is to see slow, drifting jewels upon a silver sea. Imagine each iceberg as a soft, sleeping memory floating through your mind, beautiful, unhurried, asking nothing of you, simply passing by under the long evening light. Let them drift through you tonight, one after another, with quiet wonder and no need to hold on to any of them. Beneath the surface, an iceberg hides far more of itself than it shows. For every gentle peak above the water, there is a vast, slow body below, cradled in the cool, dark sea. The largest part rests in shadow, quiet and unseen, holding the bright crown above the waves. There is something tender about this hidden weight, the way it carries the visible part with such patience. So much of every life is like that, too. Gentle and unseen beneath the surface. As you rest tonight, imagine your own quiet body becoming like an iceberg in the calm sea. Only a soft outline visible to the world, the deep, peaceful self resting below, held by the long, dark, kindly water of sleep. Antarctica is surrounded by a great cold ring of water called the Southern Ocean. It moves slowly around the continent, never quite touching any other shore, a wide blue moat of long, patient currents. The water there is rich and deep, full of slow, swirling nutrients, gentle plankton, drifting krill. Whales travel through it on long, soft journeys. Seabirds glide over its surface in wide, unhurried arcs. The waves rise and fall like the slow breathing of a great, ancient lung. Imagine that endless circling sea, calm even when stirred, deep even when bright. Imagine your own breath as one of those slow waves, lifting gently and falling back, again and again, around the still center of you, washing the world soft. Below the surface of the Southern Ocean, currents weave themselves into a quiet pattern called the Antarctic Circumpolar Current. It moves around the continent in long, slow loops, carrying water from every other sea on Earth at one time or another. This current is the patient heartbeat of the southern world, blending warm and cool, salt and fresh, light and shadow. It moves more water than any other current on the planet, yet you would never know it from above, where the surface seems calm and unhurried. As you breathe in and out tonight, imagine such a current moving softly through you, mixing the day into peace, drawing all the small bright thoughts into the deep, slow circling of rest. In the soft, pale waters near the ice, vast numbers of tiny creatures called krill drift gently together in shimmering clouds. They are small, no longer than your fingertip, almost translucent, glowing faintly blue. When they gather in great numbers, they form silent, swirling pillars under the sea, like soft constellations of moving stars. They feed the whales, the seals, the seabirds, almost everyone in this calm, cold world. And yet they themselves live softly, drifting in slow groups, swept gently by currents, doing very little but being together in the cool, dark water. Imagine those quiet living lights below the surface, drifting in tender unity. Imagine each of your own cells as such a small, bright krill, gathered together inside you, peaceful, glowing softly, all moving with the same slow breath. In summer, the surface of the cold ocean blooms with tiny green plants called phytoplankton, drifting in soft, sun-warmed clouds just below the waves. They are so small you could never see one alone, but together they paint the sea in pale green and turquoise patches, like quiet meadows blooming on the water. They breathe softly, taking in light, releasing the very oxygen that travels far across the world and into the rooms where we sleep. So even now, far from the ice, your own warm breath is gently shared with these patient sea meadows. Imagine that soft connection, that quiet thread of breath linking you to that distant calm. With every slow inhale tonight, you are gently borrowing a small gift from the dreaming green of the southern sea. Whales pass slowly through these waters on their long, peaceful migrations. Humpbacks, blue whales, minkes, drifting through the deep like gentle, singing islands. Their songs travel for many miles through the cold, dark water, low and slow, like soft thunder under velvet. They do not sing in a hurry. They sing in long, patient phrases, with quiet pauses between, as if they were listening to themselves and to the sea. Imagine that sound moving through the dark water beneath you, deep and warm and unhurried, a lullaby older than ships. Let your own breathing fall into that long whale rhythm tonight. Slow inhale, long pause, slow exhale, settling deeper and deeper into the calm dark beneath the surface of the day. The blue whale is the largest creature ever to live on this gentle earth, and she finds much of her food in the waters around Antarctica. Yet she is not loud. She is not fierce. She is enormous and soft, gliding through the dark sea with slow, unhurried grace. Her heart is the size of a small armchair, beating quietly in her great calm body. Each beat is a low, distant drum. Each breath, when she rises, is a soft fountain rising into the cold air, glittering for a moment before falling again like quiet rain. Imagine that great, peaceful body moving slowly through the deep, and feel how the gentle giants of the world are so often the quietest. Let your own large, soft self rest with that same calm dignity tonight. Slow and unhurried, held by the kind dark, seals rest along the icy shores of Antarctica, draped across the snow like soft, sleeping cushions. There are Weddell seals, leopard seals, crab-eater seals, each with their own quiet way of being. They lie in long, lazy rows on the ice, their bodies rising and falling with slow breaths, their dark eyes blinking gently in the pale light. Sometimes one will roll onto her back, fins folded across her chest, and snooze peacefully under the open sky. They are not in a hurry. They have nowhere to be. The ice holds them, the sun warms them softly, the sea waits patiently below for whenever they choose to slip in. Imagine yourself as one of those soft, resting seals, warm and cradled, breathing the cool, clean air, knowing there is nothing in this moment that needs to be done. Weddell seals can sleep gently in the water as well as on the ice. Beneath the surface, they let themselves drift, sometimes upside down, sometimes curled like quiet commas, held by the slow, swaying sea. Their breathing slows, their bodies relax, and they rest in long, peaceful pauses between breaths. When they need air, they rise softly to a hole in the ice and surface with a quiet sigh, almost without effort. Then they drift again into the cool, dim, deep, half awake, half dreaming. Imagine being held that way, weightless and warm, by something far gentler than gravity. Let your own bed become such a quiet cradle now, softly rocking you between the small waves of breath, letting you rise just enough to be alive and then sink again into the deep, kind hush of rest. Penguins gather in great soft crowds along the Antarctic shores, dressed in their tidy, dreamy black and white coats. They waddle calmly across the ice, their small steps unhurried, their voices low and companionable. There are emperor penguins, the tallest of all, with golden patches at their throats like quiet medals of the dawn. There are Adelie penguins, smaller and rounder, with bright, curious eyes. And there are many more, each one moving through the cold world in its own gentle way. Imagine standing softly at a distance, watching them go about their slow, peaceful lives, the way one watches snow fall on a winter evening. There is something profoundly restful about it, this quiet community of small, kind creatures, moving steadily through their day in the great wide hush of the ice. Emperor penguins are the dreamers of the deep winter. While most creatures retreat from the cold, they gather together on the open ice, fathers cradling their tender eggs upon their warm feet, beneath a soft fold of feathered belly. They huddle close in great patient circles, slowly rotating so each takes a turn at the warm inside and the cool outside. There is no leader, no rush, only a soft choreography of kindness. The wind sings around them, the long night holds them, and they wait, breathing together until the spring light returns. Imagine that great slow circle of warmth in the heart of the cold dark, that quiet, generous sharing. Let your own warm body become such a circle now, your breath cradling your own gentle inner life, soft and protected, waiting calmly for the soft return of light. When emperor penguin chicks finally hatch, they are small and gray and fluffy, tucked safely on their parents' warm feet. They peek out at the world with wide, dark eyes, blinking slowly at the pale, endless white. Their parents whistle softly to them, and they answer back in tiny chirps that sound like the smallest of evening bells. Slowly they grow, their fluff thickening, their legs strengthening, until at last they can stand on the ice themselves and waddle in small wandering paths around the colony. Imagine the soft sound of those first wobbly steps, the quiet kindness of the parents nearby, the great gentle patience of the place. Let your own inner self, the part that is still small and learning, feel that same warm care tonight, watched over by the kind, slow patience of your own sleeping heart. Far from the emperor colonies, smaller Adelie penguins build little nests of pebbles along the rocky coasts. They gather their small stones one by one, choosing each as carefully as a child, choosing the most beautiful sea glass on a beach. The pebble nests rise slowly into soft round shapes, low and tidy, ready to cradle their eggs. Sometimes a neighbor will sneak in to borrow a pebble or two, and the little owner will give a soft, polite complaint, then return to her work without true upset. Life there is small and slow and full of quiet purpose. Imagine yourself building a small, soft nest of peaceful thoughts tonight, choosing each one gently, placing them carefully around you in a loose, kind circle, a private little place to settle and dream the night away. Skuas and petrels glide above the ice and the open sea, large, gentle seabirds with wide wings that catch the wind as easily as breath. They wheel slowly through the sky, drifting on long invisible currents, their shadows passing soft across the snow. They do not flap often. They simply rest in the air, tilting and turning, riding the slow swirl of the polar wind. Watching them is like watching a soft musical phrase being written across the heavens. Imagine your own thoughts gliding like that tonight. No longer flapping, no longer striving, simply held aloft by the gentle currents of your own peaceful breath. They do not need to land. They do not need to leave. They simply ride softly on the long, slow waves of the quiet sky inside you. The wandering albatross, with the widest wings of any bird on Earth, sometimes drifts down into Antarctic skies. Her wings can stretch nearly the length of a small boat, yet she rarely flaps them. She glides for thousands of miles upon the slow rolling winds of the Southern Ocean, gentle as a single breath held across the sky. She sleeps, it is said, on the wing, dipping in and out of soft dream, drifting on, never falling. Imagine that long, weightless journey, that effortless travel held entirely by the kindness of the wind. Imagine yourself, too, gliding tonight upon the long, slow currents of sleep, supported, weightless, going gently wherever the wind of rest is taking you, without needing to know the destination, without needing to do anything at all but trust the soft sky. In the small green patches of moss and lichen that cling to bare rocks along the coast, tiny invertebrates live their soft, slow lives. There are mites and springtails, smaller than the head of a pin, drifting through their miniature gardens of green and grey. They breathe in the cool, clean air, sip the smallest drops of melted snow, and move slowly through their long, patient days. Imagine, for a moment, that tiny world, that gentle hidden community no bigger than a pillow. So much soft life going on in such a small space, all of it calm, all of it quiet. Let your own quiet body feel as cared for as that mossy patch tonight, full of softly breathing cells, each one tending to its small task in tender, dreamy peace. There are no trees in Antarctica, only these soft cushions of moss, these gentle crusts of lichen, this quiet living velvet upon the stones. Yet long ago, in slower, warmer times, the continent did wear a great green coat of forests. The fossils of ancient ferns and slow-growing trees still rest within its rocks, like pressed flowers in an old book. The land remembers being green. The land remembers warm rain. Now it sleeps softly under its white blanket, but it still holds, deep within, the memory of leaves moving in a gentle breeze. As you lie quietly, let your own body remember its own warmth, its own gentle inner green, the quiet life that has always been moving softly through you, even on the coldest, busiest days. Antarctica has been so calm and so slow that it preserves the past beautifully. In the dry valleys, where almost no snow falls, the bodies of long-rested seals lie peacefully in the cold air, mummified by quiet time. They do not decay quickly. The world there moves too gently for that. Old ships, old huts, old letters left 100 years ago by early explorers still sit softly inside small wooden cabins along the coast, as though their owners had only just stepped out for a short walk. Imagine opening such a wooden door and seeing teacups and books and small lanterns waiting patiently in the soft, cold dim. Even time itself rests there. Tonight, let time rest in your bedroom too. Let it slow and pause. Let your day pass into long, gentle keeping. The dry valleys are some of the most peaceful places on earth, swept by soft winds that quietly carry every flake of snow away. They are valleys of pale stone and golden sand, glowing under the long polar light. Small frozen lakes lie at their centers, capped in clear ice through which you can sometimes see the still water beneath. The air is so pure and so dry it almost shimmers. There is no rustle of trees, no hush of insects, only the long, kind silence of a place that is rarely disturbed. Imagine standing softly there, the only sound your own slow breath, the only motion the soft tilt of your head. Let your own room feel that quiet now. Every busy sound drawn away, only the gentle rhythm of your breathing remaining. Above these dry valleys, the sky is often the most extraordinary blue, deep and clear and steady. The lack of moisture, the great cleanness of the air, the long polar light, all of them weave together a sky so bright and so calm that artists have struggled for centuries to paint it. It is the kind of blue you might see only at the very edge of a dream. Imagine looking up into that blue and feeling something inside you grow quieter, simpler, softer. There is room in that blue for all your thoughts to drift gently away. Tonight, let your inner sky become like that, wide and clear and unhurried, a soft, calm dome over the gentle landscape of your resting body, ready to hold the dreams that will come. Sometimes the sky above Antarctica is filled with soft, glowing clouds that shimmer in pale rose and silver high up in the cool air. These are called nacreous clouds, or mother-of-pearl clouds, born of crystals so fine they bend the sunlight into the gentlest colors. They drift slowly across the sky like long, dreamy ribbons of light. They are not common. They appear only in certain hushed conditions, like a quiet song that only sings itself when the wind is just right. Imagine looking up at such a sky, all soft pinks and pearly blues, and feeling that the heavens themselves were quietly painting just for you. Let your closed eyes hold such a sky now, gentle pastel clouds drifting slowly across the inside of your eyelids, weightless and kind. Sometimes, even more rarely, a single pale halo forms around the sun or the moon above the snow, a soft circle of ice-bright light. It happens when tiny ice crystals high in the air catch the gentle rays just so and turn them into a quiet ring. The sun or moon glows kindly at the center, and around it, a delicate hoop of soft brightness floats in the sky, almost as if the heavens themselves were thinking of something beautiful. Imagine standing on a soft snow plain and looking up to see such a halo. There is no need to explain it, no need to do anything but watch. As you lie still tonight, imagine a gentle halo of warm light forming softly around your own resting head, peaceful, protective, and quiet just for you. In some places along the Antarctic coast, the snow itself blooms in soft shades of pink and pale green, kissed by tiny algae that live in the cold. The drifts look as though someone had brushed them lightly with watercolor. In other places, sea ice forms beautiful patterns called frost flowers, small delicate sculptures rising from the surface like tiny crystal blossoms. The whole continent quietly invents its own kinds of beauty, small and subtle, asking nothing of any audience. Imagine walking softly through such a quiet garden, your feet leaving soft prints, your eyes drinking in the pale colors, your breath leaving little puffs of cloud. Let your own thoughts tonight bloom as gently as those slow snow flowers, small and pale and lovely, opening only for the soft, dim light of your inner evening. When sea ice forms, it does so very gently, in slow, patient stages. First, the surface of the sea grows still and almost oily. Then, thin needles of ice begin to drift together into what is called grease ice, a soft, sleepy sheen on the water. Slowly, the needles join into small, flat plates called pancake ice, gentle round patties that drift and bump against one another with soft, quiet sounds. Eventually, they knit together into a wide, solid sheet, calm and white. The whole process is unhurried, like a long lullaby of freezing. Imagine your own thoughts settling like that tonight, first as gentle, drifting needles, then as soft, rounded shapes, then as a wide, quiet sheet, smoothing slowly over the surface of your mind until everything is still beneath the sea ice. Life continues its quiet rituals in dim, cool water. Small fish glide between the pale ceilings of ice and the dark blue below. Strange, gentle creatures cling to the underside of the ice, tiny shrimp-like beings and slow, soft worms. Light filters down in soft turquoise and pale jade, painting everything in dreamy underwater hues. It is a hidden world, calm and unhurried, like a vast secret room beneath the snow. Imagine drifting weightlessly through that cool blue cathedral, looking up at the slow, glowing ceiling, listening to the quiet creak of ice and the soft murmuring of the sea. Let your imagination wander there softly tonight, but only just a little, before it returns to its warm bed and settles deeper into the kind, dark waters of sleep. There are special creatures in these cold seas, with a soft, dreamy magic in their blood. Antarctic icefish, for example, have nearly clear blood, almost without color, because they have learned to live in waters cold enough that they do not need the same warmth-carrying cells as other fish. They drift slowly through the dark, their pale bodies almost glowing, their hearts beating gently and unhurriedly. Imagine such a quiet creature gliding through a starlit underwater world, calm and content in the cool dim. Let your own slow heart beat with that same soft patience now, never rushing, never straining, simply continuing its gentle work, carrying gentle warmth through every quiet corner of you, while you rest softly under your blanket. In some lakes hidden beneath the ice, even smaller forms of life have been found, tiny microbes drifting in dark water that has not seen the sky for hundreds of thousands of years. They live very slowly, sipping at faint chemicals, breathing in the patient way of things that have nothing but time. They are not lonely, they are simply quiet. They have made their peace with the dark and the slow. Imagine those gentle, patient living things, holding on softly in their hidden, peaceful homes. Imagine the calm dignity of such slow life. Tonight, Let yourself rest with that same kind patience. Your own breathing slow and small, your own life continuing in its quiet way, perfectly at home in the long dark room of the night. The sea ice around Antarctica grows and softens with the seasons in a slow, breathing rhythm. In winter, the ice expands gently outward, doubling the size of the continent, as if a great soft cloak were being drawn around the sleeping land. In summer, the cloak loosens, the edges melt back, and the dark sea returns to lap quietly against the shore. This wide breath, in and out, repeats year after year in calm, faithful patience. The whole southern world rises and falls like the chest of a sleeping giant. As you lie still, let your own breath join that ancient rhythm, soft and unhurried, breathing in with the winter, breathing out with the summer, your body settling more and more deeply into the slow, dependable kindness of rest. Glaciers slip down toward the sea in long, slow rivers of ice, carrying with them stories no one has read. They move only a little each day, sometimes just a few quiet centimeters, sometimes a soft, slow meter. Yet over many years, they have carved valleys, smoothed mountains, and shaped the soft edges of the world. Their motion is so gentle it is almost invisible, but it is constant, patient and kind. Imagine standing softly on the surface of such a glacier, feeling the great calm body beneath your feet, knowing it is moving without you needing to notice. Let your own life feel that way tonight. Slowly, surely carrying you toward your own next morning, asking nothing of you but to rest upon its long, peaceful surface. When glaciers reach the sea, they sometimes pause to form long floating tongues, soft pale shelves stretching out into the still water. From above, they look like quiet ramps of ice leading from the land into the patient blue. Seabirds sometimes rest along their edges. Seals haul out upon them to nap. The light glows softly through their thinner places, like sun shining through a hand held to a window. Imagine standing gently at the edge of such a tongue, looking out at the slow, dreamy ocean, with the world stretching wide and clean around you. Imagine all your concerns turning into mist there, and floating quietly away over the calm, kind water. There is room in such a place for every soft, sleepy breath you could ever take. Far below the surface of the ice, where pressure has gathered for thousands of years, the ice itself sings in a low, slow voice that humans rarely hear. Sometimes scientists place soft listening devices upon the snow and capture these quiet songs, gentle hums and slow creaks, soft groans and faint bell-like tones. They are the lullabies of a sleeping continent talking gently to itself. They do not frighten, they soothe. They are like the soft creaks of an old wooden house at night, the kind that remind you that you are safely home. Imagine those low, kind notes drifting up through the snow, settling into the air, drifting all the way to your pillow. Let them blend with your own slow breath, with your own peaceful heartbeat, weaving a long, quiet song that carries you into the soft dark of sleep. The ice itself is not silent on the inside. Tiny bubbles of ancient air are sealed within it, pockets of breath from skies that existed thousands and thousands of years ago. When scientists drill long cores into the deep ice, they bring up these gentle bubbles into the present, releasing whispers of old atmospheres into modern hands. Each bubble is a small breath the past once took. Each is a quiet, careful keepsake. Imagine such tiny treasures, all softly held, all gently preserved. Imagine the breath you're taking right now, sweet and full, becoming, in some quiet way, a small precious bubble of this moment, kept somewhere safe in your own deep memory. Let yourself breathe slowly, knowing each breath is a small, beautiful thing being gently held. The oldest ice in Antarctica has rested in place for nearly 1 million years, sleeping in patient layers beneath the surface. Standing on it, You would be standing on a kind of frozen book, with each soft page a year of weather, sun, dust, and gentle snow. The deepest pages were written before any city existed, before any words were spoken in any language we know. Yet the ice keeps them perfectly, without judgment, without forgetting. Imagine the deep, kind patience of such a place, where time is held so tenderly. Let your own past rest with that same kindness tonight. Let every old day, every old memory, soften beneath the gentle blanket of the present, kept safely, quietly, without needing to be reread. Within the ice, there are sometimes tiny grains of dust from very distant places, carried on long, slow winds from deserts and shores and even faraway volcanoes. Each grain rests softly in the snow, far from where it began, like a small wandering thought finally finding a quiet home. The ice gathers them in without complaint, weaving them into its soft white memory. Imagine all those gentle wanderers settled at last in such a peaceful place, no longer flying, no longer searching. Let your own restless thoughts feel that way now. Tiny soft grains drifting in from a long day, finally allowed to settle and be still. They do not need to do anything more. They only need to rest, gathered gently into the soft snow of your sleeping mind. The ice cap of Antarctica is shaped a little like a wide, gentle dome, rising slowly toward its high inland center. Walking from the coast inward would be like climbing the slow back of an enormous sleeping animal. The slope so gradual you would hardly notice. Up at the highest center, the air grows thin and dry and beautifully clear. The sky above looks deeper, almost violet. The world feels closer to the stars. Imagine ascending such a gentle slope tonight. Step by soft step, the air growing cooler, the silence growing wider. With each step you climb a little further from the busy world, and a little closer to the still center of yourself, where everything is quiet and the stars are very, very near. Inland, at the high, quiet plateau called Dome, sit some of the calmest, clearest skies on the planet. Astronomers love this gentle place because the air is so still and so dry that the stars seem to shine without any quiver, like patient lanterns hanging in dark velvet. There, you could see the universe in tender detail. Every distant galaxy a soft brushstroke, every nebula a faint, glowing dream. Imagine yourself there, lying back on a soft sleeping bag of warm snow, looking up at a sky so full of light it is almost more star than dark. Let your closed eyes hold that same gentle field of stars now, soft and shimmering. Each one a quiet promise that the universe is calm and full of slow, kind wonder. From Antarctica, you can see the southern stars in their full, slow, circular dance. Constellations there move not from east to west, like the stars in many other places, but in long, calm circles around the southern pole. Through the long polar night, they wheel slowly above the snow, the Southern Cross, the small, soft Magellanic Clouds, the gentle river of the Milky Way. Hour by hour, they trace patient arcs across the sky, like ornaments on a slowly turning ceiling. Imagine yourself watching such a sky, your mind growing soft with wonder, your eyes feeling heavy in the most peaceful way. Let your own thoughts begin to circle gently like those stars, around and around, slower and slower, until they settle into the deep, kind hush at the center. In Antarctica, even the smallest streams of life are gentle. Where ice melts in the brief warm light, slow trickles run quietly across stone, carrying soft amounts of water to little ponds. Algae bloom there in pale green, mosses sigh softly nearby, and tiny animals drift through the cool, clean water in slow, unhurried paths. There is no rush, No flood, only a soft seasonal sip of life, sweet and brief. Imagine yourself bending gently to such a stream, dipping the tips of your fingers into the cool, clear water, feeling its quiet flow against your skin. Let the small joys of your own day flow as kindly through you tonight. Briefly, softly, leaving a quiet trail of peace behind them as they pass into your gentle, restful memory. In summer, the long sun melts soft pools upon the surface of some ice shelves, shallow turquoise mirrors holding the sky. From above, they look like calm jewels set into the white, dreamy lakes that come and go with the gentle season. Birds sometimes pause beside them. Light gathers within them. They reflect the soft clouds and the high sun without distortion, perfectly still. Imagine kneeling at the edge of such a quiet pool, watching the sky drift slowly across its surface, feeling the deep calm that always rises from still water. Let your mind become like that small turquoise pool now, perfectly still, holding the soft sky of the room around you, mirroring the gentle hush of the night without any ripple or hurry. Inland, where the air is cold and the surface is dry, the wind sometimes carves long, soft ridges into the snow, called sastrugi. They look like rolling waves frozen in mid-motion, like a sea that decided to rest. In the long polar light, they glow with soft golden tops and tender blue shadows, a quiet sculpture stretching as far as the eye can see. Imagine walking gently across such a softly waving field, each ridge passing slowly beneath your feet, your steps unhurried, your breath slow. There is no path you need to follow. There is only the calm, sleeping sea of snow stretching toward the round, kind horizon. Let your own quiet bed become a small, still place at the center of such a gentle white ocean. The dark sands of some Antarctic beaches are made of tiny grains of volcanic rock, soft and warm to the eye, where the sea ice has receded. Petrels rest there. Penguins waddle along. The sound of small, soft waves brushing the dark grains is one of the kindest lullabies the southern world can sing. Imagine sitting gently upon such a beach, the cool, salty air against your face, the soft sound of the sea folding and unfolding before you. Time seems to widen there, as if it had room to breathe more deeply. Let your own time tonight feel that wide, that uncrowded. There is room in this quiet hour for every long, slow breath you wish to take, and no need to fill it with anything else. The waters along the Antarctic coast are home to little jellyfish that drift slowly through the cool blue, glowing softly with their own pale light. They pulse gently, opening and closing like tiny lanterns, sending themselves forward in soft, unhurried beats. They are calm and weightless, asking nothing of the sea but to be carried where it will. Imagine that quiet drifting, that gentle pulsing, deep beneath the still ice. Let your own breath be like that pulse now. Soft and rhythmic, your inhale a tender opening, your exhale a tender closing, the whole of you drifting easily through the cool dark of sleep, glowing kindly from within, weightless and held. Sea stars rest upon the soft seafloor near Antarctica, in slow, rich communities of pale orange, deep purple, and soft cream. They live unhurried lives, moving so slowly that watching them is like watching the hour hand of a clock. Around them, soft sponges grow in pale shapes, gentle anemones wave their tendrils softly in the cool current, and tiny shrimps drift between them like quiet thoughts. The whole seafloor is a sleeping garden, alive but unrushed. Imagine yourself gliding softly over such a garden in cool, blue dim, looking down at the slow, gentle colors. Let your imagination touch the silence of that place and bring some of it back with you, settling it softly around your bed like a quiet sea garden of its own. Above the surface, near small open patches of water called polynyas, seabirds gather to feed in slow swirling flocks. The water there stays open even when the rest of the sea is frozen, like little doors held open in the great white floor of the world. Whales come to breathe there, seals to rest, birds to dive. It is a quiet community of life gathered around a small, generous gift of open water. Imagine those soft circles of dark sea in the wide white, the gentle wings overhead, the patient breathing of whales rising and falling. Let your own small body tonight feel like such a polynya, a quiet, open place in the world where peace can gather and breath can come and go softly, with everything you need close at hand. There are no spiders, no snakes, no large land animals in Antarctica. The continent rests free of such busy creatures. Its life lives mostly in the soft sea or close to its edges, leaving the great inland plains in long, quiet stillness. Imagine that idea. Vast spaces with no movement, no scurry, no rush. Just snow, sky, slow wind, and the patient passage of pale light. It is one of the few places on Earth where you can stand alone and have no other footsteps anywhere near you. Only the soft sound of your own breath. Let your own bedroom feel that quiet now. Just you and your breath. No rush. No movement. No need. The whole night belongs to you and the gentle, kind stillness around you. Sound itself behaves softly in Antarctica. In the cold, dry air, voices and footsteps travel further than they do at home. A quiet word can drift across long distances. The soft crunch of snow beneath a boot can sound like the gentle turning of a page. The world there feels both more silent and more attentive, as if everything were listening. Imagine softly speaking your own peaceful intention into such an air, perhaps the simple thought of rest, perhaps the simple thought of letting go, and feeling it drift away softly across the snow, dissolving into the wide, quiet sky. Let your own thoughts drift like that tonight. Simple, kind, weightless, traveling softly across the inner snow of your mind, then disappearing into peaceful hush. The aurora seen from Antarctica sometimes forms great curtains that seem to ripple in slow waves, fold upon fold of soft green and pale violet light. From below, it can look as if the sky itself were a soft silken sheet hung in the heavens, gently shaken by an unseen hand. The light brightens and dims in slow, breathing waves, like a great slow lung exhaling color. There is no sound. There is only motion, gentle, generous, and serene. Imagine lying on your back in soft snow, watching such a sky breathe above you, feeling your body grow lighter with each pulse of color. Let your own breath rise and fall along with those silent waves now, the gentle inner sky of your chest, matching the great quiet sky of the south, breath upon breath upon breath. There are quiet stations scattered across the continent, where small numbers of researchers live for long stretches of time. They keep gentle company with one another through the long polar night, sharing tea, sharing meals, sharing the slow rituals of small communities. Their lights glow softly in the great dark, tiny warm windows surrounded by long miles of snow. Inside, books rest on small shelves, soft music plays from a quiet speaker. Someone reads a letter from home. It is the kind of small warmth that becomes more precious in a vast, cool world. Imagine yourself in such a soft, warm room, the night calm outside, a small lamp glowing beside you. Let your own bed be such a tender lit space inside the wider quiet of the night. In one of those stations, scientists sometimes watch slow neutrinos passing through the deep ice, tiny particles that travel through the entire planet without disturbing anything. They are so small, so gentle, so peaceful that almost nothing notices them. Detectors buried far beneath the ice quietly listen for the softest blue flashes that mark their passing. The whole experiment is like a slow, patient meditation, listening for the lightest whispers of the universe. Imagine those tiny travelers moving softly through the world, including through you, weightless and kind, asking nothing, leaving nothing behind. Let your own body feel held by that quiet flow of gentle, unseen things, breathing softly, drifting deeper into sleep, while the universe goes about its kind, quiet work all around you. When light first returns at the end of the long polar night, it does so very gently, with the softest of pre-dawn glows along the northern horizon. It begins as just a hint, a faint rose blush along the edge of the world. Day by day, it grows a little stronger, a little warmer, a little wider. The first true sunrise after months of darkness is a slow, tender event, with the disk of the sun barely lifting itself above the snow before settling again. People who live there speak of it softly, with awe. Imagine such a sunrise tonight, a gentle, slow blooming of warm color along your inner horizon. No rush, just promise, just kindness. The soft assurance that light always returns to those who wait in peaceful patience. There is a season in Antarctica called the shoulder season, when day and night share the sky in soft, long balances. The sun rises briefly, lingers low for a while, then dips again. Twilight stretches long and gentle, painting the snow in shades of peach, lavender, and dusky rose. Hours pass that feel like one long, sleepy evening. Imagine those soft pastel hours when the world cannot quite decide between waking and sleeping and seems content simply to drift between the two. Let your own state tonight be such a tender twilight, neither rushing toward sleep nor clinging to wakefulness, but gently resting in the soft hue between them, until the deeper colors of night fold over you on their own. The continent is so wide that storms can travel slowly across it without ever fully waking the land beneath. From above, you might see soft swirls of cloud drifting over the ice in long, lazy spirals, slow as cream stirred into tea. Below, the ice goes on dreaming. It is a place where weather happens, but rarely disturbs. The land has set itself to rest, and even great wide storms move across it gently, like a parent walking quietly through a sleeping child's room. Imagine your own little worries moving across you tonight in just that way. Slow, soft swirls passing over the deep landscape of your rest, never quite reaching the warm sleeping center, never quite disturbing your peace. When the wind drifts the snow into gentle dunes, sometimes builds soft archways and small caves where light flows through pale blue walls. These tender ice caves glow softly from within, painted by the slow filtering of sun through layered snow. Standing inside one is like standing inside a soft turquoise lantern, calm and shimmering. Sound rests quietly there, muffled by the soft walls. Imagine yourself in such a small, kind cave, the light gentle, the air still, your breath slow. Let your own pillow, your own blanket, your own resting body feel like such a soft shelter now, a small, bright space of warm safety, glowing kindly in the wide, gentle night around you. The water around Antarctica holds tiny living lights that can sometimes shine softly when stirred, called bioluminescent plankton. In a quiet sea at night, a passing wave might briefly glow pale green, as if the ocean were sleepily blinking. The light is small, soft, and brief, but it fills the dark water with a sense of quiet enchantment. Imagine looking down into such a calm sea, seeing slow, gentle sparks light up beneath the surface and then fade, as soft as little dreams. Let your own quiet body feel like that dark sea now, full of small, gentle living lights, each one a soft, kindly thought, sparkling briefly and then dimming again, lulling you deeper into the peaceful dark. The Antarctic Treaty, signed many years ago by countries from all around the world, holds the continent as a place of peace and quiet science. No one is allowed to fight there. No one is allowed to mine it or harm it. It is set aside as a gift to the whole sleeping earth, a wide white sanctuary held softly in shared trust. Imagine that. A place that the busy world has agreed to leave at rest, simply because it is precious. Let that gentle thought soothe you. The world, in its way, knows how to protect what is calm. And just as the world protects that great quiet place, allow your own breath, your own bed, your own quiet hour to be such a sanctuary tonight, kept gently safe by your own kindness to yourself. Tourists who visit the southern continent move slowly, in small, soft groups, with great gentle care. They step lightly upon the snow, speak in low voices, watch the wildlife from quiet distances. They are guests in a sleeping house, careful not to wake anyone. Their boats anchor in soft sheltered bays, lights low at night, so as not to disturb the wide hush. Imagine joining such a small, quiet group, walking softly along the icy shore, breathing the cool, clean air, your eyes wide with wonder. Imagine how respectful that quiet feels, how kind it is to enter a place softly. Let your own evening be such a quiet visit to your own inner stillness, gentle and respectful, almost holy in its tenderness. The skies above Antarctica are one of the best places on Earth to listen for very faint signals from distant parts of the universe. Radio telescopes and gentle detectors there listen patiently, day and night, for soft whispers from deep space. They listen for the leftover warmth of the very early universe, the soft glow that lingers from the gentlest of beginnings. The whole work is quiet, slow, attentive, like sitting in a still room and listening to a far-off, ancient song. Imagine listening that way tonight, your inner ear tuned softly to the gentle hum of your own breath, your own heart, the calm music of being alive in this very kind moment. Beneath the ice, there are mountains made of warmer rock than the snow above might suggest, with old volcanoes still resting peacefully far below. Slow geothermal heat sometimes rises up gently through hidden vents, warming small underground lakes and creating little pockets where soft, strange microbes thrive in the cool dim. They are small islands of warm life cradled inside the great cold continent, hidden gardens that no one ever sees. Imagine those tender, warm refuges, glowing faintly with patient inner life. Let your own heart feel like such a small, warm pocket now, kept gently alive within the soft, cool quiet of your body, beating slowly, holding a small, kind heat at the center of all your peaceful resting. There is a place near the coast called Blood Falls, where slow, iron-rich water seeps from beneath a glacier, painting the ice with soft, rusty reds and gentle oranges. Despite the dramatic name, the falls move slowly, quietly, like soft watercolor pigment slipping across the snow. It is a tender, painterly place, almost like a quiet artist's brush touching the ice. Imagine that gentle red flow, this earth softly remembering its old warmth, painting itself into the white. Let your own warm self gently color the cool sheets around you tonight. Soft warmth flowing out of you into the bed, settling around you in a kind, quiet blush, holding you in your own gentle warmth as the night deepens. The deepest cold ever measured on this gentle earth has been recorded in Antarctica, at a quiet plateau high inland, yet even that great cold is not violent. It simply rests, deep and clear and clean. The air at such moments is so dry that any breath turns instantly to soft, sparkling crystals, slow constellations falling gently in front of the face. People who have experienced it speak of how silent and how strangely peaceful it feels, as if the world had paused for a kind, quiet moment. Imagine those tiny breath crystals drifting softly down, like miniature stars settling slowly upon the snow. Let your own breath tonight be that gentle and that softly visible, soft and slow, settling kindly into the still air around you. There is a soft snow effect called diamond dust, when the air itself fills with tiny suspended ice crystals that sparkle in the low sun. The whole world seems to glow faintly, as if dusted with the lightest of glitter. Sunlight catches each crystal individually, and they wink gently in and out like quiet little stars. To walk through it is to walk through a slow drifting cloud of soft light. Imagine your own breath tonight rising into such a softly sparkling air. Your slow inhale and gentle exhale dancing softly with tiny shimmering lights. Let those gentle inner sparkles dim slowly into a soft glow, then into a kind dark, drawing you ever deeper into the sweet hush of sleep. In the soft places along the coast, ice forms beautiful natural sculptures, smooth pillars, gentle arches, slow curving caves. Each one is shaped by the patient hands of wind and tide, by the quiet kindness of time. None of them last forever. They form, they shine, they slowly soften back into the sea. There is no sadness in this. It is simply the gentle way of things, the quiet rhythm of being made and unmade. Imagine your own day as such a soft sculpture, briefly formed in the bright light, now gently softening as the night arrives, melting kindly into the calm sea of sleep, ready to be made again, tenderly, with the soft return of morning. Whales sometimes rest at the surface of the sea in long, slow groups, their dark backs glistening softly in the low sun. They lie almost motionless, breathing gently together, like a small floating village of giants taking a quiet nap. Light dances softly on their wet skin. Birds drift past without disturbing them. The whole scene is one of profound, generous calm. Imagine those great gentle creatures resting upon the still water, breathing slowly, sharing a soft community of rest. Let your own breath feel as deep and as kind as theirs now, large and unhurried, traveling slowly through your chest, your belly, your back, settling you more and more peacefully into the gentle, wide ocean of the night. In the cool seas, octopuses with soft, pale bodies drift slowly across the seafloor, their gentle arms moving in slow, dreamlike waves. They settle softly upon the rocks, change color quietly to match their surroundings, and then sit very still for long, peaceful stretches. They are creatures of slow thought and gentle motion, quietly clever, quietly content. Imagine one of them drifting softly through a dim blue current, its arms unfurling like slow ribbons in a tender ballet. Let your own thoughts move like those soft arms tonight, slow and curling and gentle, exploring the cool quiet of your inner sea without urgency, slowly settling, slowly stilling, until they rest as kindly as the soft body of a sleeping octopus on the seafloor. Far below the water, ancient, slow corals grow in gentle gardens of pale color along certain protected reefs near the coast. They have grown for hundreds or even thousands of patient years, each adding only the smallest layer to itself in each season. Their slowness is profound. Their patience is sweet. They live unhurried lives in cool, dim water, asking very little, gifting very much. Imagine those soft, ancient gardens hidden in the deep, calmly growing through silent years. Let your own quiet body feel like such a slow, patient coral tonight, gently growing in soft ways you cannot see. Each breath adding a tiny layer of rest, each heartbeat building, gently, the peaceful self you will wake into in the morning. In the cold air above the snow, sometimes you can see soft phenomena called sun pillars, tall, gentle columns of light rising vertically from the sun on the horizon. They are made when tiny flat ice crystals in the air align softly and reflect light upward in a slow shining beam. The pillar stands quietly, soft and warm in color, like a slow candle of light in the cool sky. Imagine such a tender column of warmth standing softly above the snow at dusk. Let your own spine feel like such a soft pillar now, a gentle line of warm energy from the base of you to the crown of your head. Calm, glowing, holding you peacefully in your bed as the light of the day softly fades. When the snow is fresh and the wind is still, the surface is so smooth that even the gentlest footprint shows clearly, like a small story written in soft white pages. Animal tracks weave gentle stories across the snow, penguin trails like tiny dotted lines, seal slides like soft long brushstrokes. Each track is a soft signature of life, briefly held, eventually smoothed away by the next gentle snowfall. Imagine those soft white pages tonight. Your own day is a small line of gentle footprints across them, simply visible for now, peacefully waiting to be softened by the slow snow of the night. There is no need to hold on to any of it. It is all softly kept, then softly released. Sometimes, in the long polar night, you can see the soft pale shimmer of zodiacal light in the sky, a faint glowing cone rising from the horizon. It is made from sunlight, gently reflecting off tiny dust particles drifting in space along the path of the planets. It looks like a quiet ghost of the sun, lingering softly even after the sun has gone. The whole sky feels held by such a tender light. Imagine that soft pale glow above the snow, calm and dreamy. Let your own mind hold such a gentle inner glow tonight. A quiet light that lingers softly even as the day fades, kind and patient, lighting the inside of your sleep with a small, peaceful luminescence. Sometimes a small, soft cloud forms above an Antarctic peak, shaped like a smooth, sleeping disk. These lenticular clouds rest gently in the sky, looking as still as if they had been carefully placed there. Their edges are soft, their bodies pale and even, glowing peacefully in the long polar light. They appear, they linger, they slowly fade. Imagine such a calm cloud floating above a quiet mountain, perfectly content to simply be. Let your own thoughts, especially the bright ones, become such soft lenticular clouds tonight, gentle, beautiful, and still, neither rushing across the sky nor demanding any attention, simply hovering kindly above the inner mountain of you for a little while, and then gently dissolving away. Antarctica has helped scientists understand the very air we all share. By gently drilling small cores into the ice, they have read the soft history of the atmosphere over hundreds of thousands of years. The ice holds an honest, kind record, simply showing what was. From it, we have learned how breath, weather, sky, and life have changed in slow, gentle rhythms. The continent is, in a way, a soft teacher, a kind library, a patient elder whose lessons are written in pale, frozen pages. Imagine that quiet wisdom resting beneath the snow, calm and generous. Let your own gentle memory tonight feel like such a soft library, holding the small lessons of your life with the same patient care, without hurry, without judgment, ready when you need them, and quiet when you do not. Far above the continent, the upper atmosphere shimmers with very faint glows that are difficult to see from anywhere else. There are soft phenomena called air glows, gentle colors that drift through the dark sky as the air softly releases warmth back into space. They are not as bright as auroras, more like a tender whisper of color than a song. To watch them, you must be very still, very patient, very quiet. Imagine such a soft sky tonight, just barely glowing with the tenderest of greens and warm rose. Let your own inner being soften into that same kind quietness. the gentle whispering of breath being your only color, the calm rhythm of your heart being your only song. Researchers have found that the soft, careful pace of life on the continent shapes the way people live and think there. Days are simple. Movement is unhurried. Tasks are done with quiet attention. People take time to look at the sky, to notice the changing colors of the ice, to listen to the soft creaks of the wind. Many speak afterward of how peaceful and clear they felt, as though their thoughts had grown a little wider and a little kinder. Imagine that gentle slowness now flowing softly into your own evening, your own breath, your own pillow. Let the night invite you, just for tonight, to live with the same soft attention, simply noticing the small kind things of this peaceful moment. There is something about gazing at large, slow things, mountains, glaciers, vast ice fields, that quietens the human mind. The eye, used to small, busy details all day, finds rest in long, unbroken horizons. The breath naturally slows in their presence. The body relaxes. The thoughts grow simpler. Antarctica is one of the largest slow things on Earth, and even imagining it can begin to ease the inner pace. Picture, very softly, a wide, flat field of pale snow stretching from your bed to the round edge of the world. Let your eyes, even closed, look across that calm distance. Feel how everything inside you, breath, heart, mind, slows kindly down in the presence of so much gentle space. People who spend time in Antarctica often describe sleep there as deeper and softer than anywhere else they have ever known. The long quiet, the cool, clean air, the simple days all weave together into a kind, restful slumber. The body, having no need to brace, lets itself fall fully into the calm. The mind, having so few new noises to track, gently lets go. Imagine sharing that kind of sleep tonight, even from far away. Imagine your bed becoming a soft, warm cabin at the quiet edge of the great ice, the night outside hushed and bright with stars. Let your body, your breath, your heart, all settle into that same calm, gentle rest, deep and trusting and complete. The southern continent, with all its cold and silence, has cradled some of the most peaceful human journeys ever made. Small ships drift slowly along its coasts. Quiet researchers spend long winters in soft, warm rooms. Photographers stand patiently for hours, simply watching light move across the ice. The whole continent invites a slower kind of living, a deeper kind of seeing. Imagine joining that gentle tradition for a few quiet hours of this night, simply being a soft witness to a calm world. Let your bed be your small ship, your breath your gentle anchor. There is nothing more to do than rest here, gently watching the quiet inner light of your own peaceful self until it slowly dims into the kind dark of sleep. Around the world, even when no one is looking, the great white continent is always there, breathing slowly under its long blanket of ice and stars. The auroras dance softly above it. The whales sing slowly beneath its waters. The penguins gather quietly along its shores. The mountains sleep beneath their soft snow quilts. It does all of this without effort, without audience, simply as its own peaceful way of being. Imagine that calm, continuous presence, holding its kind vigil tonight. Let yourself remember that even when you sleep, even when your eyes are closed, the gentle south is still resting, still breathing, still tender. It does not need you to watch it. It is simply there, sweet and quiet, like a faraway friend. And so, as we begin to draw this slow drift toward its soft and gentle close, picture the whole great continent below the world, a wide, kind crown of pale light. Imagine the moon shining softly over it, the stars wheeling slowly in their long, patient circles, the sea around it cradling it like a soft sleeping baby. Imagine, very gently, that some of that calm has traveled all this way to your room, settling like a quiet snowfall upon your blanket, upon your shoulders, upon your gentle closing eyes. Every breath you take draws a little more of that soft southern hush into you. Every breath you release sends a little of the day's busyness gently away into the wide, kind quiet of the night, where it can rest safely until morning. And now, very softly, our slow journey through the great white south begins to gather itself into a final gentle hush. Imagine standing one last time at the soft edge of the continent, looking out across the wide pale plain, the low golden sun painting long quiet shadows across the snow. Behind you, the great inland ice rests in its long dreaming. Before you, the calm sea rolls gently against the shore in slow, kind waves. The wind has settled. The birds have folded their wings. The whales rest beneath the dark water. Everything has chosen stillness. Imagine all the soft things you have visited tonight gathering quietly around you. The slow glaciers, the patient mountains, the gentle krill clouds, the dreaming seals, the warm circles of huddled penguins, the dancing southern lights. They drift softly around you in a wide, kind ring, each one offering a small piece of their peaceful nature. From the glaciers, a sense of slow, steady motion. From the mountains, a sense of calm endurance. From the seals, a sense of weightless rest. From the penguins, a sense of warm, shared care. From the auroras, a sense of soft inner light. Take all of these gentle gifts now and let them settle into your body. Let the slow glacier rest in your legs, the calm mountain in your spine, the floating seal in your belly, the warm penguin circle around your heart, the soft aurora across your closed eyes. You are now, in this quiet moment, a small Antarctica of your own, a gentle continent of rest, breathing slowly under your own soft inner sky. The great south continues its long dream, far away yet kindly present. Its snow keeps falling in slow, weightless feathers. Its stars keep wheeling in calm circles. Its tender silence keeps holding everything beneath it with patient love. And somewhere within you, that same gentle hush has taken its place tonight. Soft as moonlight on a sleeping field, there is nothing more to learn. Nothing more to gather. Only this kind, slow stillness, only this warm, calm rest, only the sweet, wide quiet of the southern dream now resting safely inside you. And so, gentle traveler, we have come to the soft, slow ending of our long, quiet journey together. You have wandered through the great white south with such tender patience, drifting from glowing aurora to sleeping mountain, from singing whale to dreaming penguin, from hidden lake to shimmering star. You have given yourself the rare and kind gift of slowness tonight, and that gift now rests softly inside you, glowing faintly like a small warm lantern at the center of your sleeping self. Let your body grow even heavier in your bed, sinking softly into the warm mattress, held kindly by your pillow, your blanket, your quiet room. Let your breath grow longer, slower, gentler, each inhale a soft drift of snow falling upon a still field. Each exhale a long quiet sigh of the southern wind drifting out to the patient sea. There is nothing left to think about, nothing left to do. The day has been kindly closed, and the night has opened its wide, soft arms to receive you. Imagine, one last time, the great calm continent at the bottom of the world, breathing slowly under its long blanket of ice and stars. Imagine the soft auroras still dancing gently above it, the whales still singing slowly beneath it, the snow still falling like tender feathers upon its quiet plains. And imagine that same vast peace, that same generous hush, now wrapped gently all around you, a soft white quilt of stillness draped over your dreaming heart. If this slow journey has soothed you, you are warmly invited to leave a quiet like and to subscribe to Deep Sleep Science, so we may keep drifting together on many more peaceful nights to come. Your presence here tonight has been a kind, soft gift, and we are deeply grateful for it. In a moment, the words will fade away, and a soft tide of gentle 432 Hz music will rise to carry you the rest of the way into the deep, kind dark of sleep. There is nothing more for you to hold, nothing more for you to listen for. Only let the warmth around you deepen. Only let the stillness within you widen. Only let yourself sink, slowly and sweetly, into the long quiet south of your own peaceful rest. Good night, and sleep deeply.